For this section, I went ahead and basically built two microservices using Node.js, which you can find the link to the actual code right here. So I do have these two microservices, customer and order, and they're really simple. Let me just show you. So we've got the server.js, and it has a couple lines of code. And then we also have order, which is very similar, but I'm going to show you how these two microservices will communicate to each other using services. So what I want to do first is actually build the YAML for the customer application, and then I will let you build or actually implement the one for order as well. So in here, open up YAMLs, or maybe you don't have this folder, but you can grab all of this as well. So this is what we have before. So deployment. So you've seen this file with the rolling update, and then pod as well. So this is a simple pod. So here, what we're going to do is let's just together create a new file. And here I'm going to call it customer, and then dash deployment dot, and then YAML. There we go. And now let's create a YAML. So here, as I said before, I never write line by line and just use auto completion. So deployment, and there we go. So now for the metadata name and match labels, the labels app, and the containers, for this, I'm going to call this as customer. There we go. You see that all of these are the same. And in here for the image name, let's go ahead and say Amigos code, or actually just like that. Whoops. So just like this, basically, Amigos code / Kubernetes, and then column, and then customer, and then dash v1. So the resources and limits I'm going to leave as default, and then the container port, this will be 8080. Also, what I'm going to do is, so in here, I'm going to say replicas. So replicas, and I want 2 replicas for this, just like that. So there we have it. So this is now our deployment. So let's quickly apply this deployment. So here, I'm going to open up my terminal, and then in here, let me just say kubectl get pods. Let's see how many pods we have currently. So we have 5 pods. So let's actually scale this down. So this is the initial deployment, which was 5. I'm just going to say I want 2 pods or 2 replicas. And then I'm going to say apply the deployment. So that's the name of the file. Configured. So if I say get pods again, you can see that it's terminating, and then 2 are running. So these 2 will be running, right? All right, cool. So now let's say kubectl apply -f, and then the name of the file was customer deployment.yaml. So before I apply, let me just do an ls, and you can see that I do have these 3 YAMLs in here. So I want to say kubectl apply -f customer deployment, or customer-deployment.yaml, enter, and that's created. Let's just say get pods, and you can see that container creating. Let me just run get pods again, and there we go. So 2 are running, and let's actually have a look at the logs. So kubectl and then logs, and then here I'm going to paste the pod name, enter, and you can see that server running on port 8080, which means that it's working. Now, what I want to show you here is the following. So let's just say kubectl get, and then all, and in here, have a look. So we have a new replica set, a new deployment, so customer, and then we have 2 pods in here. So what I want to show you quickly is, again, so if I type kubectl get and then deploy, we have customer here. So let's just forward or put forward. So in here, So we're going to port forward to customer. And again, this is just for debugging purposes. So 8080 should map to 8080 on the actual container, and enter. There we go. Now, if I open up VS Code for a second, I just want to show you that within this API, we have customer, and then this actually should be microservices in here. So we have server, and then here we have this one endpoint in here. So we have this one, API v1, and then customers or customer. So let's just quickly hit that. So here I'm going to open up my web browser. There we go. And now type localhost and then 8080 and then / and then API v1 and then customer. So without 2 /, just 1 / enter, and check this out. So we have a JSON bag. So this is 3 customers. So our microservice is returning 3 customers. So James from the UK, male, Jamila, Bilal from Spain, and is also a male. So there we have it.